I thought I'd just share with you some quick examples of what we deem as active community participation and participation within our organization. I guess for us, our vision is safer communities together. So there's no together without participation. And that really starts off with our strategic intent. In 2005, we became the first government organization to implement an ethnic strategy. And that followed on in 2010, where we updated that strategy to take a much more preventative focus. And in 2015, we are in the process now of launching our next strategy, which is working with ethnic communities in the future. And that will set 3 main objectives that we hope to accomplish, which is leading ethnic responsiveness, continuing to enhance capability within the organization, and the third pillar being actually working with ethnic communities. So although we are taking a whole of policing approach to working with our communities and everyone is equal under the law, how we tend sometimes to apply that law and how sometimes people are individually treated by that law can differ. So we also need to realize that we need to put in place specific strategies on how to work with communities because they have different needs. One of the key things that we did this year to signal that intent and get things underway was to enhance the values of our organization. We've always had professionalism, respect, integrity, and commitment to Maori and the treaty as cornerstones, but this year we added empathy to give a greater emphasis to working with victims and also valuing diversity in recognition that we are now a super diverse country and that we need to actually start signaling this as part of our organizational intent. So we also want to ensure that we're just not tokenistic in terms of appointing officers, but there is some executive influence and oversight as to how we shape police policy in this area. Apart from having a bridge into communities, we need to have a voice for participation in the organization. So we have regional advisory boards, we've got memorandums of understanding with different organizations such as FIANS, New Zealand Federation of Multicultural Councils, but also we've got regional advisory boards, and I'm proud to say that we've recently established our Commissioners Ethnic Focus Forum, which brings together key leaders from across the sector, and we have on there our community representatives from former refugee communities as well, African, Middle Eastern communities, etc. Apart from having a voice, we need to have a physical presence within the organization, because as much as we are an organization where the people are the police and the police are the people, we need to reflect our communities within the organization. We can't just say, oh, well, we're building organizational depth. Yes, we want people to, of course, have the experience of working with everyone, but at the end of the day, we need people to be seen within our organization. We recognize the fact that when our African communities need assistance, they expect any police officer that comes to their door to be able to deal with them professionally. But also, they need to be reassured that there are African members within our community, within our organization. The same with the Chinese community, the same with people from different sexual orientation, gender background, etc. So, we focused on running recruitment seminars specifically for communities. Last year, we met with former refugee communities in Mandiri, and we set about some recruitment seminars, and we're quite fortunate that they were successful. Ethnic communities are still largely very underrepresented in New Zealand police, making up just less than 3%. In terms of that number, that's about 300 police officers come from ethnic communities. When you put them in one room, it looks like a lot, but it has been a significant increase over the last 5 years, 294% or increase in those numbers in the last 5 years. We also need to adjust in terms of participation to make sure that we incorporate as best as possible their cultural needs within the organization. So uniform requirements, dietary requirements, the ability to practice their faith within our organization, the ability for them to speak their language and also to nurture their culture by, if they want to set up kapahaka groups, if they want to set up Bhangra groups, if they want to set up Chinese meditation groups, these are all facilitated by us. And we're proud of the fact that many of our police officers are starting to do this and feel comfortable enough to do this within the organization. We have our own values, our own beliefs that we bring into an organization, and we need to conform to the organization, but we are individuals at the end of the day within it. Religion plays a big part in our communities as well, and at the police college last week we opened the first interfaith prayer room that allows our visitors and recruits from different backgrounds to practice their faith within their facility. It has a library, it has different resources that are there, and we're fortunate that we were supported by the community in setting it up. When we come to the hard end of our business, it is about being physically present in our community. As much as we can have great processes and call centers and mobility and technology, at the end of the day, our communities want to see us physically present, and we are very strong on before-time relationships, building the positiveness within our community before you need us. We fully acknowledge the perceptions people have of police from the countries they're coming from, particularly our former refugee communities, where police have been the instrument of their trauma, have been involved in huge atrocities against them. And for them to overcome the perception takes much more than a few orientation sessions and just seeing us. We need to make a concerted effort to be engaged with them. And in that regard, from youth programs to presentations to activities that we do, both for the men and women within those communities. An example of what good participation looks like is our open safety patrols. They come from we currently have about 210. They come from 50, they speak 50 different languages and come from 30 different communities. Combined, they produce, they provide to us more than between 500 to 600 what we call preventative policing hours, where they go out actively alongside police officers, and 65 of these members have become uniformed police officers have joined the police. And apart from providing our communities with an opportunity to gain employment, yes, there's one in the police, but the other is that they have the ability to go into their communities and contribute something back to them. They want to keep their communities safe, but they want to do it in their own way. They also want to ensure that they don't have to give up their cultural identity in order to conform, so they can keep that cultural identity and participate. And the other example is the Race Unity Speech Awards, and we have Osman Hussein is here today, and his son was a wonderful participant in the Speech Awards over the last 3 years. And I encourage you to go and see those speeches on the website raceunity.co.nz, and where our youth get the opportunity to talk about racism, talk about bullying and harassment, challenge organizations, and provide solutions. So it's an ability for students all across this nation to come into these schools and speak and put things on the table. And they criticize the police, they criticize government, but my God, they provide some really, really inspiring stories. And over the years, there's so many leaders that have developed from these programs that it's just amazing. There's the sport, as you know, that's all the participation that we try to actively engage in, that we support. And the cultural festivals are important, and the identity and food and music. And we recognize the fact that for some of our communities, it's not so easy getting funding nowadays to run these events. Everyone's cutting back. But last week, for example, we participated at A Coffee's Africa Day celebrations. We run them nationally as well. So we're quite pleased that we're able to foster positive participation through those things. And then there's the language articles, etc. In summary, participation for us is simply not an outcome, and it's simply not a strategic objective. It's a real intent and commitment by us to keep New Zealanders safe and to make all New Zealanders feel that the New Zealand Police is a very caring organization. 12,500, in order to look at how we overcome negative perceptions, what we've got to ensure that we do is keep on striving to look at avenues for positive participation, and these are just some examples. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa.